What's happening, y'all? We are going to do a special edition of Fight Court because of the breaking news. Alex Pereira just vacated his light heavyweight belt. So Ryan hit me up early this morning. I'm like, yo, what are you talking about? So I wanted to sneak in a quick episode with my man Ryan. Ryan, what is going on here?
Dude, first, isn't it crazy? Like you were with the UFC in Mexico right now, and then you found it's so in this sport more than ever. Like I just think about news that broke out like with teammates and American top teams. Sometimes you're so close that you can't even you don't know. Like you're not aware of it. But what's going on here? I mean, we all thought this might happen eventually. I don't think it was I didn't think it was going to happen now. I think that there was still stuff to be done at light heavyweight for Alex, not much, but now Yuri and Carlos are fighting for the light heavyweight title in April. I can't help but think that all signs point to John Jones. I'll tell you why. Because, uh, well, Tom's out. Um, do we really want to see a Cyril versus Alex Pereira? We will, but the White House card is like 3.5 months away, and John's been relatively quiet lately. And I feel like whenever he's got something in the works, he disappears. That's the one time that he'll stay out of the spotlight. When he wants something, he's all on social media, pleading his case, saying how good he is and how he deserves it. And we haven't really seen any of that lately. So I truly think that there's something in the works between those two. What do you think?
Those are all valid points, and I think that's what the signs are pointing to. Is that
Mhm.
Alex Pereira and John Jones is kind of the front runner, but then I don't want to be that bold and make that type of statement because I do think there is a world where Cyril Gahn does get an opportunity to fight Alex if John doesn't want to do it and Tom Aspinall can't do it. Or who knows? What if Tom Aspinall was just capping this whole time and was like, yo, guess what, y'all? I can see now. What
Yeah,
if?
yeah,
So I think there are other possibilities. And the only reason why I suggest that the Cyril Gahn fight is a possibility is if there is a Conor McGregor possibility.
hmm yeah,
Because if there's a Conor McGregor possibility, then John Jones is not necessarily needed. And because it's hard to imagine that they're going to put John and Conor on the card together. Not impossible, hard to imagine that that's a reality, but
yeah.
not impossible. But I would think that if because Conor's been quiet too, so if Conor does fight, then I do think that there's an opportunity for Cyril Gahn to step in and fight Alex Pereira for the vacant heavyweight title. But the front runner still to me would be John Jones. I would assume that would be the front runner.
I agree. And you just brought something to mind. Let's say that the stars align perfectly and you get Connor and John on the card. Who are you making the co-main event?
Well, that's just it. That's what I'm saying. Like both of them have these egos that will not allow them to take second.
Yeah,
But John did suggest earlier that he would, to get on the White House card, that he would go co-main event.
right. I remember seeing that. Like I'd fight on the prelims or something. Like he said something along those lines, which he knows would never happen. But
But yeah, but when you make that bold of a claim, yeah, I'd fight on the prelims. That means
yeah,
that you're just lying about the whole thing.
right, right.
You're
Yeah.
not
You
fighting
know
on the
that would never
prelims.
happen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, but I think the biggest issue for me on this whole thing, and it's not an issue, but I think it's a telltale sign of what we're getting out of a guy like Alex Pereira is really kind of GOAT status type stuff.
Yeah.
This is really GOAT status type stuff for him to vacate the belt and then want to go up to heavyweight challenge for that belt. And that also points to the idea that he might be on his way out, right? Is
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
as much as he can because he's on his way out. So that would be unfortunate for us if he is on his way out. But this is GOAT level type stuff.
So first, to say he's on his way out, he's going to be 39 in July, so he's not that young. I know that we look at three division champion, but have we even had a three division challenger? I can't think of any.
Hmm.
So
I don't think so.
he's already a first in that. Well, okay, he hasn't had the heavyweight title, but he will be the first in that aspect. So
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, what was the question again? Just like a goat status?
Well, no,
Just
I mean, I had thought about this earlier. I think now we're going to have to start looking at the Mount Rushmore
Oh yeah,
of MMA again. I
changes the
think we're gonna have
landscape.
to I think we're gonna have to start really looking at that and changing the landscape of it
Hmm.
because there's a lot more involved now. There's a lot more context and there's a lot more, the criteria's a little different now, and it might be a little harder to get on it now. And I think that the type of stuff that Alex Bahed is doing right now and the last couple of years that he's had is definitely like if he can win the heavyweight title, that's definitely GOAT and surely puts him on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
And then we start looking at who's on the Mount Rushmore now. We always suggest, okay, George St. Pierre, Anderson Silva. And I think we oftentimes do that and we're afraid to take them off because of nostalgia.
yeah.
And,
Um,
they're true to our era.
I feel like, and he gets lost in the shuffle, but didn't Daniel Cormier successfully defend titles while he was a dual champion? I know Ilya did. Um, it's just like, what are you looking at? Like especially because these generations, the sport has changed so much, even from when Anderson and George St. Pierre were fighting to now. Um, but anytime someone's a three division champion, three division challenger, you can't just exclude them from that. It's an only. The onlys you can't exclude from, and Alex Pereira is becoming an only.
Yeah. So like if he goes up and fights for the heavyweight title and becomes a challenger for that, that to me almost automatically puts him on the Mount
Yeah,
Rushmore.
I
If he
agree.
wins it, that automatically makes him the GOAT. Because when you start to think about what they've done in these last couple, like what he's done these last couple of years, like taking, UFC 300, because that's when he really got popular. But even before that, he had just this amazing, he had an amazing MMA career, like as short as it was. Like he came in, beat up a bunch of guys, beat up Izzy. Um, then he did get knocked out by Izzy, but I think the way he handled that loss was even better than if he had won. Like the way he handled that loss, he gets knocked out, his son gets taunted, and he's just like, "Congratulations to Izzy. I'm moving on."
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like to
Mhm.
me, that was such a GOAT level status response to getting knocked out. So
Yeah.
then he goes on, he just has this amazing career, and now he's gonna fight for the heavyweight title. It's crazy to think about what he's doing in this short amount of time and the level of competition that he's facing and beating.
Yeah, I don't even think he has 15 fights, does he? Like it just he's pretty much what we were hoping Brock Lesnar was going to be. We talked about Brock last week, but like Brock won the belt, but then just like you know, uh Alex kind of went like this, but he's still ascending. And he's ascending at other weight classes. And it's insane that he's just doing so much damage. And I was thinking of all the fights that we want to see him with. If he moved up to heavyweight, I feel like him and Alexander Volkov would be a pretty good fight. I think Alex is long, rangy. We're going to see some long, rangy striking. I think that would be a fun fight. But we'll stick to the subject. I can't see why you can't place him on that Mount Rushmore or on that GOAT list, especially even if he challenges. Does he really need to win? Like, well, I mean, he can't go in there and get knocked out. But the fact that he's doing it and he's just wherever he goes, whatever weight class he's been an immediate presence. And I can't think of many other people. Like whenever people bump up, even when Islam was going up to 170, there was question marks. There's no question marks whenever Alex Pereira goes to a new weight class or a new scenery. They know he's an immediate presence. And I can't think of any other fighter that has had that.
Yeah, like you even thinking of Ilya. Ilya goes up to 155. I'd be like, oh, he's too small. Oh, he's definitely too small for 170. Islam
Exactly.
goes up. Well, we'll see how he does. He might be too small. But when Alex goes up, our initial response is, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
exactly. Yeah. There might be a new dog in the dog park. There might be a new
Yeah.
dog in the backyard.
Yep.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're in interesting territories. Apparently, Dana said he's going to announce the card this week coming
Oh,
up.
cool.
So, but this is telling, obviously, with Alex vacating the light heavyweight title, this is telling that he's probably going to be on that White House card. And it's just a matter of who the opponent is. And I think that has a lot to do with who else,
Yeah.
who else is going to be on the card. Is John Jones going to be on the card? If John Jones is on the card, it's definitely Alex. If he's
Yeah.
not, it could be who knows who Alex Pereira fights. Is Connor going to be on the card? I think that has some play in it too. And then when we
hmm
think about the card in itself, do you have any early predictions of who you think is going to be on the entire White House card?
I got lost in the shuffle. We talked about this. I was hoping that Max would have an early turnaround, and I still think that that's a possibility. I don't know. Who do you think? Who do you think?
I'm almost thinking right now there's an opportunity for. I actually think that Bo Nickel might fight Kobe Covington on this card.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I honestly think that that's a reality.
Yeah, I think that's a really good one. That's probably the most promising. American wrestlers, affiliation with Trump. It's that's a safe bet. And I know we got sources. I was gonna text Glover right before. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that to Glover. I'll text him later. Like I wanted to see if we can get any insight on Alex's situation. There's some people we could text about Kobe too, but we'll just let it play out. We'll be fans for a little bit. You got a busy day ahead of you.
Yeah, I got the fights tonight, but then we'll see how that goes. We'll still chop it up tomorrow and discuss these fights tonight. But Ryan, appreciate your time today and
Me
making
too.
this happen. Let's get up out of here. But so again, if you enjoyed the show, hit like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back in 2 days with our recap of this fight night in Mexico City. This court is adjourned. Peace.